From pop culture events, including the much-anticipated Super Bowl and Grammy Awards, to national news, highlighting Black History Month as well as the historical NBA trades that ensued this past week, all starting right here on Clemson News Now. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Warner.
And I'm Ann Withers. Football fans, get ready because the Super Bowl 59 is just 3 days away. This year's matchup takes place in New Orleans, Louisiana, and includes the back-to-back defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the highly acclaimed Philadelphia Eagles. The game will take place this Sunday, February 9th, with kickoff set at 6:30 p.m. Both teams are certainly contenders for the title, as the Chiefs will be heading into the game with a 17-2 record as the Eagles shape up at 17-3.
Despite the Chiefs' championship streak, the Eagles have a promising defense, only allowing one team since October to score more than 23 points. On top of that, Jalen Hurts' most passing yards in the regular season and postseason have been in games against the Chiefs in 2021 and 2022. However, the Chiefs show plenty of promise themselves, with Patrick Mahomes demonstrating his fast releases during their past 4 games, a key to the Chiefs' offensive success. Mahomes has won almost 90% of his games where he released the ball within 3 seconds of the snap.
The Chiefs will be in the first NFL team to compete in a 5 Super Bowl over a 6-season span, with this being Philadelphia's 3rd appearance in the last 8 seasons. Between halves, of course, is the famous Super Bowl halftime show. This year, it will be led by rapper Kendrick Lamar, joined by his fellow Grammy Award winner SZA. Whether you're rooting for the Chiefs' kingdom or chanting "Go Birds," one thing we can always count on this Sunday is a loud and proud performance from some of the football's most loyal fans.
Next up, the biggest names in Los Angeles all gathered together last Sunday to attend the 2025 Grammy Awards hosted by renowned comedian Trevor Noah. The award show paid deliberate tribute to the resilience of LA after the fires, while preserving the glamorous nature of music's biggest night of the year. World-famous winners, including Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Chris Stapleton, Chris Brown, and SZA, other more seasoned artists like the Beatles and Rolling Stones also rounded the awards along with Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga as a knockout duo.
Controversy about the awards was sparked by Kendrick Lamar's sweep of multiple categories, including Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Rap Performance. His viral diss track, Not Like Us, was originally a fire at Drake, created in an unserious manner. After the viewing, many people in the general public questioned if the award was truly deserving, considering that it wasn't carefully crafted like some of the other songs in the category. This tension surrounding the show didn't end there, as people began expressing their conspiracies and discontent surrounding Beyoncé's win of Best Country Album and Album of the Year, despite not even receiving a nomination at a Country Music Awards this past fall.
Despite Beyoncé's success, country star Chris Stapleton was able to snatch the award for Best Country Solo Performance over Jelly Roll, Shaboozey, Beyoncé, and Casey Musgraves. Beyoncé's record amount of Grammy wins was extended to 35 total, with other general records including an 8-year female winning streak for Best New Artist and Kendrick Lamar's extended lead of 7 Best Rap Performances and 3 Best Music Videos. This year's Grammys is certainly one for the books, and continued on the Grammy tradition of sparking new conversations in today's vibrant music industry.
We now turn to Jordan in our sports department to give us all the latest news in Clemson sports world.
Thanks, Ann. Well, Tiger fans, Clemson basketball just went through an absolute thriller with a more than unfavorable end result. On Tuesday night, the Tigers fell to Georgia Tech in a heartbreaker, losing 89-86 in triple overtime. This loss snapped their 6-game win streak and denied them their best start in ACC play in program history. Chase Hunter had 2 chances to win it in the first 2 overtimes, but missed both shots. Head coach Brad Brownell chose not to call a timeout in those moments, trusting his veteran guard to make a play. Hunter, who played a career-high 52 minutes, finished with 28 points, but shot just 37.5% from the field, well below his average. But there's no time to dwell on it because this Saturday brings one of the biggest home games in recent memory. The number 2 ranked Duke Blue Devils are coming to Little John Coliseum, and all eyes will be on freshman phenom Cooper Flagg. The future NBA lottery pick has taken the college basketball world by storm, and now Clemson has a chance to make a statement against him and the Blue Devils. Tip-off is set for 6:30 p.m. and the game will be broadcast nationally on ESPN following Luka Doncic's Lakers debut. And yes, college basketball legend Dick Vitale will be on the call. You know what that means. It's going to be awesome, baby. Switching gears to the Diamond, Clemson softball is ready to kick off a brand new era. With the loss of 10 seniors, including superstar Valerie Cagle, who went number 1 overall in the Athletes Unlimited Pro Draft. Head coach John Rittman has been busy reloading the roster. He added 3 key transfers, including Winthrop's Reese Basinger, Tennessee's Jamison Brockenbrow, and Canadian pitcher Brooke Melnicook. Meanwhile, senior Maddie Moore returns as one of the nation's top second basemen, looking to lead this new-look team back to the NCAA tournament for the 5th straight year. At the season opener, fans got a preview this past Sunday at the annual Orange versus Purple scrimmage at McWhorter Stadium. Their season, however, began today against Ole Miss in Boca Raton. The transfers wasted no time making an impact. After the Tigers fell to Ole Miss 3-2, they rebounded against Kansas in their second game. Brockenbrow knocked one out of the park, and the Winthrop transfer Basinger earned the save as the Tigers beat the Jayhawks 4-3. They return to action tomorrow at 6 p.m., and the first time you'll see the Tigers at home is February 11th against Furman. So whether it's on the court or on the field, it's a huge week for Tiger athletics. Get ready, Clemson. The action is just getting started. That's all I have here for sports. Back to you, Ann.
Thank you, Jordan. We share our next news story with heavy hearts. The NTSB has completed its on-site work at the Philadelphia plane crash that killed 7 people and injured 24 this past Friday, January 31st. In the Roosevelt area where the plane went down, crews are still working to clear debris as officials hope to reopen businesses and allow residents back into their homes soon. The aircraft, a medical plane, was transporting a young girl and her mother after finishing her last cancer treatments. The 2 were accompanied by 4 crew members as well as they were making their way back to Springfield, Missouri. Investigators have recovered the black box, or cockpit voice recorder, and are analyzing data to determine the cause of the crash.
As if this news wasn't shocking enough, the public is even more shaken up due to the fact that just 2 days beforehand, another plane crash occurred in Washington, D.C. The aircraft recovery efforts continue after an American Airlines regional jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided over the Potomac River, killing all 67 people on board. The NTSB is reviewing flight data and air traffic control records as they investigate the cause of the deadliest U.S. air disaster in over 20 years. Between the plane and the helicopter, 67 lives were lost, including passengers and crew. Our thoughts go out to the victims and their loved ones in the terrible tragedy.
Now that it's February, the Clemson community joins the rest of the country in celebrating Black History Month. Today, our spotlight is on Harvey Gantt, the inspiration behind Harvey and Lucinda Gantt's Multicultural Center here on campus, that aims to empower students to be agents of change. After attending Iowa State University, Harvey Gantt became the first African-American student admitted to Clemson University in 1963. Gantt went on to graduate with honors as an architecture student and completed his master's degree in city planning from MIT.
Later, Gantt began participating in local politics and eventually became the first black mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina, and even a 2-time Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate. Harvey's wife, Lucinda Gantt, was the first black woman to attend Clemson, extending the beautiful legacy they share together. Today, we applaud their courage and impact on our community and our nation as a whole. We now turn to our weatherman for tonight. Drew, what's the forecast looking like in Clemson?
Well, Brian, if you were hoping for an early spring, I've got some bad news for you. Punxsutawney Phil has spoken. On February 2nd, our favorite furry forecaster saw his shadow, which means we're in for 6 more weeks of winter. So buckle up, winter's not done with us yet. But let's talk about this weekend first. Friday brings us a high of 76 degrees, so enjoy the warm weather while it lasts. Saturday, a high of 63 degrees as cooler air moves in. And by Sunday, we will warm right back up to 78, but lows will hover in the high 40s to low 50s. So keep that light jacket handy for the evenings. Now, if you're a fan of rainy days, next week is your time to shine, or should I say, your time to get drenched. Expect plenty of showers, maybe even a storm or two, with highs in the mid-50s and lows dropping into the low 40s. It's going to be a wet and chilly week, so keep that raincoat and umbrella close. That's your forecast. Stay dry, stay warm, and stay tuned for more weather updates. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Drew. Now we transition into some news surrounding the sports realm that made headlines this past Sunday with the NBA trade deadline approaching. Major deals are shaking up the league. This includes the trade that has the world of basketball on its head. Here is all the most relevant drama taking place in the NBA world. The Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Dallas fans are outraged that their star player has been traded away, so much so that many are taking refunds on their season tickets. Mavericks fans also protested Doncic's trade outside of the stadium with a funeral tribute for his career, decked out with a fake coffin and all-black suits. Luka will be back in Dallas April 9th at a Los Angeles Lakers game to face off against his own team. With the trade deadline around the corner, more big moves could be on the way. Our final story is an update from a story we covered back in November. The search for 43 escaped monkeys in Yemassee, South Carolina is finally over. The last 4 were captured nearly 3 months after breaking out of Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center, when a caretaker accidentally left a door unlatched. Most of the monkeys were found within 2 weeks, but the final 4 were a tough chase. They reportedly wandered through the nearby woods, enduring many different conditions, including surviving a rare South Carolina snowstorm. They have since been recovered this past week and are in good health.
The facility, which houses about 7,000 monkeys for research, had previously been fined in 2017 for past escape issues. Yes, they've had multiple. In both escape occasions, officials used safe traps to catch the monkeys, warning locals not to approach them. The monkeys certainly took advantage of their time away, as some were even spotted eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and playing in trees before being returned. Sounds like a fun afternoon. Thus, we now put a close to this truly bananas story.
They were just monkeying around.
They had more exercise than I had in the last 3 months. Well, that's a wrap up. That is a wrap for our episode tonight. Be sure to join us next week for all the latest news, nationally and locally. I'm Brian Warner.
And I'm Ann Withers.